Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ashok Kumar from Government Women Engineering College, Ajmer. In lecture 5 of antenna array series, we are going to discuss about an element non-uniform linear array along with binomial array in this lecture. The following contents will be addressed during this lecture 5 of antenna series. Initially the introduction, then further the calculation of array factor for n element linear array with uniform spacing and non-uniform amplitude. This is important. And analysis of binomial array and calculation of amplitude excitation coefficient, then design procedure of binomial array and problem based on binomial array. The contents and problem is prepared from this book of this lecture. And initially, as we have discussed in the element linear array with uniform spacing and uniform amplitude and progressive phase shift between the element in the previous lectures, and we have found that some of the characteristics of radiation pattern of an array with uniformly excited isotropic sources can be controlled by changing the number of elements, interspacing element, and the progressive phase shift. As we have seen, number of elements and inter element spacing, I mean d, and progressive phase shift psi. So we can represent psi is equal to beta d cos theta plus, sorry, psi is equal to kd cos theta plus beta. So this is the equation we have discussed in the previous lecture. While spacing, I mean the extent of phi, beta control the starting and end values of keeping the psi, keeping the ex extent constant. However, the excitation for array factor in terms of psi does not change. Only the visible region is decided by d and beta. So we can say when we are calculating the psi, in that case the spacing between the element d and beta is playing a vital role, and these two parameters will decide the visible and invisible region, as we have draw the pattern in the rectangular or in the polar coordinate systems. So the level of side lobe level of a uniform array is found to be greater than minus 13.46 dB from the main lobe peaks, as we have calculated the first side lobe level value in the case of uniform array, and which is minus 13.46 dB from the main side lobe level. There are applications where it is required to suppress the side lobes to much lower level. This can be achieved by changing the excitation amplitude. So we can say, if we want to reduce the side lobe level, in that case we can change or we can alter the excitation amplitude. So we are saying this is a non-uniform linear array. So in this lecture, a broadside array with uniform spacing, I mean beta is equal to 0 and theta is equal to 90 degree, we are considering for analysis of non-uniform linear arrays with uniform spacing d but non-uniform amplitude distribution or excitation coefficient will be discussed, especially binomial and Dolph T by C broadside array through smallest side lobe level achieved by changing the excitation coefficient or excitation amplitude. So this is important in the non-uniform array. We have discussed the n element non-uniform linear array by using two set procedures through which we can change the excitation amplitude, which is known as binomial and Dolph C by C broadside arrays. Here we have considered a non-uniform amplitude array of even and odd number of elements. If figure 13a represent the even number of element and b represent the odd number of element. And here you can see we have considered the isotropic element of 2m. This is the origin, and here uh, we are considering m number of elements down from the origin, and above from the origin we are considering m number of elements. So we are saying it's a twice of m number of elements, and these elements are symmetrically positions along the z axis, as you can see in this figure. The separation distance between the element is d, as you can see, between a1 to a2 and so on. And m elements are placed on each side of the origin, as we have discussed, assuming the amplitude excitation is symmetrical about the origin. So array factor for the uniform amplitude broadside array can be calculated, and these are the observation points, as you can see, and this is the distance r from the origin, and this is the angle of theta. And again we are taking some amplitude variation assumptions and phase variation assumptions. This length is the d by 2 cos theta, and r1 and r2 rm, and we have represented here r1 dash, r2 dash, and rm. So this is the analysis for the non-uniform arrays. And considering the condition of broadside array, beta is equal to 0 and psi is equal to kd cos theta plus beta. Beta we are putting the value of 0, in that case we will get the psi. This is called the progressive phase shift is equal to kd cos theta. So array factor can be calculated. Array factor of twice of m even number of elements equal to a1 e j 1 by 2 kd cos theta plus a2 plus j 3 by 2 kd cos theta, and so on, plus this is the below the origin coefficients. And as you can see, when we are considering the length from the origin, then this length is equal to d by 2. So 1 by 2 factor is coming, e की power plus j 1 by 2 factor is coming here, and then we have to sum all these components. Then we will get the array factor of even number of elements, which is equal to twice of summation n is equal to 1 to m, and by using these expressions. And this form can be reduced in the normalized form by using this expression 52a, array factor of m, and this is important for calculating the amplitude coefficient, excitation coefficient of the an element array. If the total number of isotropic element of the array is odd to m plus 1, where m is an integer, as you can see in this figure, if we are considering the odd number of elements, in that case we are putting one element at the origin, and then m plus 1 elements above the origin, or m plus 1 elements below the origin, but the central element having the amplitude ratio twice of a1, and other elements are having the a2 a3 and so on, and the spacing between the elements here we are considering it d. Then we can calculate the array factor while considering the criteria for broadside array, beta is equal to 0 and psi is equal to kd cos theta, and which is equal to af 2m plus 1 is equal to twice of a1. As you can see, this is the coefficient twice of a1, plus and so on, a2 plus and so on. When we have to summarize, af twice of m plus 1 equal to, by using this expression, and we can again reduce this equation in normalized form. Array factor of twice of m plus 1 is equal to and 1 to m plus 1, here m plus 1, and you will get the array factor for the odd number of elements. As we have summarized the array factor for the even number of elements and odd number of elements by using equation 54a, b, and c. And here you can see the difference is n is equal to 1 to m plus 1. Here is the n is equal to 1 to m plus 1 for the even, and where we are considering the coefficient u is equal to pi d upon lambda cos theta. So this is the important analysis, and through which we can define or we can investigate the binomial array or Dolph C by C non-uniform arrays. First, we need to discuss about the binomial array. The array factor of the binomial array can be represented by using this equation, and we need to calculate the A of n or the, I mean, amplitude excitation coefficient. So first we need to calculate the excitation coefficient. There are two set procedures through which we can calculate the excitation coefficient, in which the first method is to determine the excitation coefficient of the binomial array. J.S. Stone suggested the function 1 plus x to the power m minus 1 can be written in a series using the binomial expansion. As you can see, 1 plus x to the power m minus 1. This is the popular analysis, binomial analysis, through which we can calculate the coefficient for the binomial arrays. Here m is the represent the number of elements in the arrays. Then the coefficient can be represented by the relative amplitude of the elements. As you can see, m minus 1, m minus 1, m minus 2 upon factorial 2, these are the coefficient, and we can calculate their relative amplitude by using these expression. Since the coefficients are determined from the binomial series, this is called as a binomial series, so we are saying it's a binomial array. The other procedure to calculate the binomial coefficient is the in terms of triangle, and which is called as the Pascal triangle. And this is the basic principle through which we can calculate the binomial array coefficient. And you can see it is generated starting with 1. As you can see, m is equal to 1, then you can see, then second row is generated by simply repeating 1 twice, as we have repeated once twice. The first and last element of the next row are equal to the respective elements of the previous row. As you can see, the first and this is the last, and then further element we are calculating is the sum of the two adjacent elements of the previous row. As you can see, 1 plus 1 2. Here you can see 1 1, 1 plus 2 3, 2 plus 1 3, and 1. Again you can calculate 1, 3 plus 1 4, 3 plus 3 6, and so on. So you can calculate by using this principle the coefficient excitation coefficient for the binomial arrays. Referring to the previous equations and equation 56, as you can see, this is the 56 equation and these are the previous equations 54 array factor equation. The amplitude coefficient of the arrays can be calculated for two elements. Twice of m is equal to 2, then a1 is equal to 1. Three elements, 2m plus 1 is equal to 3, so twice of a1 is equal to 2, a1 is equal to 1 1. Four elements, twice of m is equal to 4, so a1 is equal to 3 and a2 is equal to 1. And 5 element, as you can calculate by using this set procedure. And this is the design procedure, and this is important for the binomial arrays. In the step first, we need to determine the amplitude coefficient for the given number of elements using either equation or using Pascal triangle, as we have discussed, or their extension of the Pascal triangle, or using expansion methods. In step 2, to determine the half power beamwidth for d is equal to lambda by 2 spacing, only because the binomial arrays do not exhibit any minor loss for providing the separation between elements is equal or less than lambda by 2. So this is the important in the case of binomial array. I mean, we can say by using binomial, when we are considering the distance d is equal to lambda by 2, in that case there is no minor lobe will be exist in the binomial array. So we can calculate the half power beamwidth for binomial array at distance d is equal to lambda by 2 is the spacing, then equal to 1.06 upon root of n minus 1, equal to 1.06 upon root of 2l by lambda, equal to 0.75 upon root of L by lambda. This is the important expression through which we can calculate the half power beamwidth. In step 3, we can determine the directivity of d by 2 spacing or less than only, as we have discussed in step 2. In that case, you can calculate the directivity by using this expression, by using this expression, or by using this expression. As you can select one expression from these three expressions, then after you can calculate the directivity of the binomial array. So this is the design procedure for the binomial array, and this is the important. As you can see, we are taking one example to understand the binomial array, and here we have draw the power pattern along the theta variation, and we are taking number of elements is the n is equal to 10 elements, and in the direction of broadside array, binomial array with d is equal to lambda by 4, lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 4, and lambda. So as you can see, d is equal to lambda by 4. In that case, this is the power pattern and there is no lobe, minor lobe exists. When d is equal to lambda by 2, as you can see, then it is centrally and there is no minor lobes. But we are taking the d is equal to 3 lambda by 4, then you can see there are two minor lobes will be exist and d is equal to lambda. This is the principal maxima and it's behave like a end fire radiation. So we can say the antenna behave at d is equal to lambda by 4 and lambda by 2. It's a broadside array, but in the case of d is equal to 3 lambda by 4 and d is equal to lambda by 4, in that case it behave like a end fire array radiation. So we can say in a binomial array there is no side lobe level exist. This is the problem based on the binomial array, and we are taking four isotropic uh, and series of arrays, and they are putting along the z axis and having the distance d, and we need to design a binomial array. So first find the normalized excitation coefficient, array factor, and then angles in degree where the array factor nulls occur when d is equal to 3 lambda by 4. So this is the simple procedure, and we can consider the Pascal triangle to calculate the normalized excitation coefficient. So as you can see, number of elements m is equal to 4. So m is equal to 4, in that case 1 3 3 1 are the coefficient. So here you can see 1 3 3 1 are the coefficient, and this is the series expansion method. We are calculating the a1 is equal to 3 and a2 is equal to 1, n is equal to twice of m is equal to 4, so we are getting the m is equal to 2. It means even number of elements. So we can calculate the array factor of 4, n is equal to 1 2, m is equal to 2 an by using this expression, and this expression is nothing but it is a this expression, and where we are considering u is equal to pi d upon lambda cos theta, u is equal to pi d upon lambda cos theta. So array factor can be calculated, and we are using cos 3 of x is equal to 4 cos cube x minus 3 cos x. It is the identity, and we are putting cos 3x value. This is the value cos 3 of x. Then we are getting the array factor for the four elements is equal to 4 cos cube pi d upon lambda cos theta. So this is the answer here. This is the answer. Then the nulls occur when array factor equal to 0, as we have discussed in the broadside array, end fire array, and other arrays. And we are considering pi d upon lambda cos theta n is equal to 0, then which is equal to twice of n plus 1 pi by 2, where n is equal to 0 1 2, or we can say theta n is equal to cos inverse plus minus 2n plus 1 by into 2 upon 3, when we are putting the distance d is equal to 3 lambda by 4 as given in the equation, so we can calculate the theta n. When we are taking the different values of n is equal to 0, then we are getting cos inverse plus minus 2 by 3, then we are getting 48.19 degree and 131.81 degree. Two nulls occurs when n is equal to 0. When n is equal to 1, we are taking in that case theta 1 is equal to cos inverse plus minus 2 does not exist. Similarly, when we are taking higher values of n, in that case the same procedure or same value holds for n greater than 2. So we can calculate the null amplitude coefficient and array factor for the binomial array. These three problems are to test yourself how we can design a binomial array, their excitation coefficient, and for the different lengths, as well as the expression of the electric field. And this problem, question 4, is especially to calculate the half power beamwidth as well as maximum directivity. So by considering the design procedure, you can calculate the half power beamwidth as well as maximum directivity. Thank you everyone for watching this lecture. I hope this lecture is beneficial for you. In the next lecture of this antenna series, we are going to discuss about the design procedure of Dolph C by Chief array antennas. Thank you.